Hi, Edward Unthank. Let's talk about generative engine optimization, or what the general market's calling it, GEO. GEO. The G stands, instead of search engine optimization, it is generative AI optimization. This includes chat. This includes any time of asking a large language model for advice. It's being able to be visible for those scraping and the information aggregation which happens within the large language model. We call that overall effort generative engine optimization. And this is one of the things where we're looking for the new future here. We need to not just be concerned about search engine optimization, where we show up on the Google listings, but instead we need to make sure that we're getting all of our information into the chat engine's hands. So there are some common ways that people do this right now. The first principle is that any information, you shouldn't gate it anymore. If you want it to show up here, you need to not gate the content. So the primary ones that I'm looking for on this is, it's kind of a credibility game. Imagine a similar approach where web crawlers are going through and then taking and listing all of the words on every single page. Every single page on your website. They're going through, they're listing them out, they're figuring out what words you're using, they're scoring it back, they're turning them into search queries, and then they're feeding them in a similar way that you would get the search engine optimization results. You go to Google, you Google your own company, you see what the results you get. You can similarly do this with a generative engine optimization. And then what that would do is you go into your individual chat group that you care about. You can look at this primarily based on what's going to be the biggest ones. So we talk about this one, we're talking about Chat GPT, and then we'd also be talking about the Anthropic language models. So we're trying to optimize and make sure that these companies are seeing your information. The way that you need to do it is by feed them a lot of information. That's where we're talking about pumping out content that is going to be consumed primarily by the scraping and then fed into the large language models, the generative engines. So one fast way you can do it is YouTube. YouTube is now being transcribed, and then the transcription is going into and feeding the general engine optimization. That's one of the reasons you see us doing so much of this right now, is because you can talk not just to humans, but you can also talk to the chat bots. And this is also a really fast way where you can put information top into there and get immediately into the output. The second way that you're looking for doing this is your www website. This is imagining your marketing website. Call this the www version. And then basically an idea that in order to show up here, you need to have a bunch of content articles and content guides. Anything else like here, we're talking about a helpful area is documentation. So basically, if you're able to write and push all of your content marketing, primarily you're not just putting it onto the website, you're putting it on the website so that it can be consumed by the generative engines, by ChatGPT, by Anthropic's Toolage, all of that together. You're trying to play content marketing now towards this engine. Generally how this works is credibility. The general generative engine optimization, they're trying to go and sort by credibility of these things. That's why we know that the third option of press releases is significantly powerful, because what you can do is you can go up with a primary article, and then you can feed that into press release machines and companies, and then they can do kind of a secondary push of the same amount of information or the same announcement that you just put onto your primary website. You can have the same thing go into a press release. If you're going into the press release, the whole point on this is this goes to different press websites, which is high credibility. Press site www. Their websites themselves are going to be scraped by this generative engines, and then by that, the combination of these together will point out and try to find the high. It's kind of a race to the top of the credibility charts. So a really fast way you can do that is by going to press releases. This is currently kind of poorly guarded right now, because you can spam. This is the spam approach. You can actually spam this right now, because you can purchase press releases, and then you can just immediately get into the top of the charts. Because if you don't already have significant website reputation and YouTube reputation, then you're playing against your individual credibility. You're trying to be cited is what we're trying to go for. The whole point is citations. The citations need to be significant. So generative engine optimization, it's like an SEO approach. If a web crawling can't find your content, it can't say that your content exists. It cannot cite your content. The kind of key emphasis on this is citations. This is how many times you're actually referenced in here. So this is a new approach. As you're going through and determining the content approach of things, the primary, as this is going to play into B2B marketing, is an idea that we should be doing ungated content as well. That the content, the very technical solutioning content should be going, if you want it to show up, should be accessible, scrapable, and then going into this larger engine. And this is an approach in content marketing overall. This is also generally, as the idea of gated content has become less popular over the years in B2B marketing, it's kind of an idea of if it's old and it's not getting significant content, there's really good reason now to turn that into ungated content that any on the internet are able to get access to. So do that as you're doing this overall approach. You want to, it's a content race. It's a saturating the content, filling knowledge gaps, and then being highest level of credibility, such as a press release is a fast way to get there. And this is your approach, and this is how you get cited, C-I-T-E-D, cited within any of the chat confirmation conversations. And in order to do that, you need content that's ungated and that you're spitting out high quality content very quickly so that you get those citations. So Edward Unthank, thanks for sticking in there. I'll be helping you through with kind of this AI and in our new world, and follow along. Thanks.